Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. It's the Prophets of Awakening. It's our Israelite Advanced Bible Study night, 24th of September, of August. I mean, 13th of August, 2024. My bad. We'll be dealing with Jubilees, chapters 24, 25, 26 later on for our topic for discussion. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos, a lot of information. These videos will connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Hours of operation Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7 to 9 Central Time, p.m. And then we'll come on our Clubhouse channel, which is Non-Messianic Conversations, from 7 to 9 Central Time on Fridays for our Men's Advanced Bible Study. And we have two Shabbat classes, one in the mornings from 10 to 12 a.m. Central Time, and then we close out the Shabbat from 6 to 7 p.m. in the evenings Central Time. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. And by that I mean we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. We don't deal with the Old Testament, with the New Testament. John, Peter, Paul, Jesus, we don't deal with the New Testament. Tanakh being the Old Testament, and the Torah being the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which are the books of our laws, statutes, and our judgments that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Israelite Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, read the Psalms. We have some current events, some need-to-know information, and then I'll open it up for some questions and comments for anybody that you may have. And then we go into our topic, which is reading out the book of Jubilees, chapters 24, 25, and 26. Okay? This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts. And all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come this day bow down and honoring and praising you and believing in you. And we thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge that you have poured out upon us. Okay, and through your prophets, you reveal the times that we would deal with Jacob's trouble. Keep us, O Lord, and guide us and deliver us. We see you now within the Holy Scriptures, O Lord, and we trust you with all our heart and all our soul. Keep not thy silence, but shine forth on our enemies with thy great power, that great power and thy great glory. Okay, read the Psalm. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalm 22. It's a cry of anguish and a song of praise. It's a psalm of David. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? O my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not, and in the night season I am not silent. But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Our fathers trusted in thee, they trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not confounded. But I am a worm, and no man, a reproach of me, and despise the people. All they that see me laugh me scorn. They shoot out the lips, they shake their heads, saying, he trusted on the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing delighting in him. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my God from my mother's belly. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round. They gape upon me with all their mouths as a ravening in a roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaved to my jaws. And thou hast brought me into the dust of death. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I may tell all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture. But be not thou far from me, O Lord, O my strength, has thee to help me. Hasten thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, and my darlings from the power of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. I will declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst of the congregation. Will I praise thee? Ye that fear the Lord, praise him. All ye, the seed of Jacob, glorify him and fear him, and ye, the seed of Israel, all ye, the seed of Israel, for he have not despised nor abhorred the of the afflicted, neither have he hid his face from him. But when he cried unto him, he heard. My praise shall be of thee in the great congregation, and I will pay my vows before them that fear him. The meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise the Lord that seek him. Your heart shall live forever. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before him. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he is governor among all the nations. All they that be fat upon the earth shall eat and worship. All they that go down to the dust shall bow before him, and none can uh, keep alive his own soul. A seed shall serve him. It shall be accounted to the Lord for a generation. They shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto all people that shall be born, that he have done this. Okay? So we see right here, like I was telling you before, how he tricked us off with the, got you thinking that the Psalms is talking about David is prophesying about Jesus Christ, but it ain't. It's they got the story, the character Jesus Christ is they got him out of the Psalms, a lot of it, and David don't know about no Jesus, so this is they're using the character of David to build his character Jesus. So you notice in verse 7 it says David says they put all this on JC. That's where they get it from right here. Verse 7. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lips. They shake their head, saying, he trusted on the Lord that he might deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. So like I said, look at that. And they put this on JC, right? 9. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. So, right here, 9, he says that this David talking. Show you how crazy this is. He says, David talking. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. So this folk JC and Cain. So how can he be or play the role they say he is? David talking about somebody else that delivered him, and he was dealing with him. He came thousands of years before JC came. And then 10, I was cast upon thee, upon the Lord of hosts. When he was born, I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my God from my mother's womb. He's talking to the Lord of hosts. Be not far from me, for trouble is near. There is none to help. Then 12, many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round about. And I told you who they was. I'll go to it, show you again. 13, these strong bulls in verse 13, they gape upon me with their mouth as a raving and as a roaring lion, right? So let's look at what he's talking about. So if we go to Joshua. Look at Joshua, okay? See what these strong bulls of Bashan is, okay? Okay. Okay. So I'm in chapter 10, right, of Joshua. It says, verse 1, now it came to pass when Adonizak, king of the Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibon had made peace with Israel and were among them. But they feared greatly, because Gibon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. So the mighty means they giants. That's what a giant is, a mighty man. Wherefore Adonizak, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Haran, king of Hebron, and unto Piram, king of Jericho, and unto Jaffa, king of Lachish, and unto Debir, king of Eglon, saying, come up with me and help me, that we may smite Gibon, for it have made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, see that? The 5 kings of the Amorites, king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jericho, gathered themselves together and went up, and they all, their host, and encamped before Gibon and made war against him. So I told you that when the giant dies, the spirit that was in that giant, it didn't come from heaven. It came from a merger of an angelic being sleep with a woman. So that spirit don't ascend when that person passes away, or when that giant dies. That spirit don't ascend. It's bound to the earth, or and created hell and Guyana for those spirits. That's why David said, those that go down to the pit. Those spirits don't ascend, because they are mingled spirit. They're bound to the earth, and they ascend down into the earth. So I want to show you where the Bashan come from. Strong bulls of Bashan. Like I said, you can go to just 2 Samuel chapter 22. You'll see when David passed away. That's when he encountered these wicked spirits. Let's look at it. Let me find it. Okay. Give me a minute. So David came up on, Joshua came up against Og, right? Og was an Amorite. And then he also came up against the king of Bashan. So that's who that is. And he said the strong bulls of Bashan. Those are those giants that was They were different, a little different than the rest of the giants. They was he said they was like oak trees. That's why I said strong bulls of Bashan. Let me see if I can find that word. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we'll move forward. But anyway, when I find it, I'll bring it up. It's Og was a king, was a giant, mighty man. He was an Amorite, and the king of Bashan was an Amorite, and Shion, those Amorites. So that's who the strong bulls of Bashan are. They passed once they killed that spirit was there. They specifically wanted when David passed away, they tried to drag him down into hell, but he called to the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts came and deliver David from those strong spirits that were too strong for him. Okay. Anybody have comments on that? Okay. Go to some more. Go to some more current events.
Are extremely concerned. This includes the large banks, regional banks, even credit unions are concerned that people are going to rush to the bank, pull all their money out, and we will see a massive bank run here in the United States. Now, I want to address why this is because as of right now, we have over $7 trillion of uninsured deposits. This means $7 trillion would not be given back to the American people, to businesses, to individuals. It would simply be gone. It would vanish. That is concerning. Now, I want to address everything that is going on right now, why banks are highly concerned, what is coming in the very near future, and what you should expect moving forward. So make sure you stick around and watch this entire video, especially if you have even $1 in the bank, you need to know what the bank could do with your money. So I'm going to address all this in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So here's the first thing you need to know. If a bank is in trouble, they could actually use your money to save themselves. This is called a bank bail-in. The bank uses customers' deposits to bail itself out. Yeah, that's concerning. But here's the real concern. Look at this. This is from the Daily Hodl. It says $7,162 billion in uninsured deposits brewing in U.S. bank accounts as customers risk zero protection from federal government. This is a report from August 9th, just a few days ago. But this is why it's so concerning. The FDIC insures up to $250,000 in deposits. Most people are like, well, that's perfectly fine. I only have $18 in the bank. I am okay. But here's the real concern. What about when the bank goes under? FDIC insurance kicks in and you will get your money. We've seen this before. Okay, we saw this when a Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic went under. Because there were some large depositors that had more than $250,000 in their account. Well, guess what? FDIC came out and said, and Janet Yellen specifically said, everybody will be made whole. They will not lose a single dollar. That's exactly what happened. FDIC was able to use something called a systematic risk exemption rule. That's the rule. That's what they did to pay more than $250,000 in uninsured deposits. People got 100% of their money back. Now you probably think, well, that's great. The FDIC should have done that. Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, should have done that. Right? That was the right move. And was it? Yeah. You know, people shouldn't be losing their money. Businesses, wealthy individuals shouldn't be losing money. But here's the concern. Right now, there is about $19 trillion in total deposits here in the United States. $19 trillion. Remember, I said there was $7,162 billion in uninsured deposits. That means only $12 trillion, or a little bit less than $12 trillion, is insured. Okay, that's not bad, right? There's a decent amount of insured deposits. Here's the concern. How much does FDIC have in their bank? How much FDIC insurance, okay? FDIC, what do they have? What does their account look like? Well, according to a report about 3 months ago, they have roughly, get this, $120 billion in their account. So we have $19 trillion in total deposits. We have $12 trillion in insured deposits, $7,162 billion in.
What's up, everybody? You made it. Welcome to the future.
Uninsured deposits. But what does FDIC have? They have $120 billion in their account. There is no way they could pay 100% of the total deposits that are in the United States. So here's what's been happening. Even if just 1%, this is what a friend of mine told me. If 1% of all the deposits were pulled from the banks, okay? For one, this would be the probably the largest bank run we've ever seen. Number two, it would collapse financial institutions. 1%. So that is $1.9 trillion would be, well, actually, that's not 1%, it's 10%. Was $190 billion pulled? Again, keep in mind that if we start pulling money from banks, that's how they operate. That's the struggle. But listen to this one. And I had a couple people write me. Actually, more people wrote me. One, he was very specific about the bank that he works for, so I left out that comment. But these people said this. The first person says, and I quote, "Adam is starting again. I have many customers who are worried about the banking system collapsing and are taking out their money. It is mainly businesses and wealthy individuals who are taking cash out to get down to the $250,000 FDIC limit. Do you think this will continue?" My answer is yes. And the reason I say this is because I've talked to several friends of mine who do have some bigger businesses that are wealthier individuals, and they aren't keeping, about $5 million in the bank account. What they're doing is many of them are investing into short-term, just quick bonds. Okay, just a little quick return. That's it, and then they'll just kind of keep doing it. But here's the thing: do I think more businesses take money out? I do. Unfortunately, I think there's more negative catalysts coming up than positive ones. I think the U.S. economy is. I don't think it's time to jump in on too much yet. I think there's a lot of doubt. Here's the other comment I received. This person says, and I quote, "I had several accounts with more than $250,000 in them, and I liquidated most of my accounts. I left each account with $200,000 in it, and I will invest my money elsewhere. I don't want to get stuck with uninsured deposits if everything is starting to crack." And this is the person that actually left me this, okay? They left me the link to this exact article. Yeah. So first off, I want to thank everybody that does contribute in the comments, whether it's with.
Okay, any comments on that?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, it's something like last year when the banks were in Silicon Valley and in New York, when they was doing the collapse, and how they reassured the people there was going to get their money back. Do y'all remember that last year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if people start pulling their money out, it is going to be a collapse. But I don't know if they'll allow them to pull all of it out of their money, because they got all these bank loans out, and basically the money is really not in the bank. They say if everyone rushed in there to get their money, not everybody would receive their money.
Right. That's what he's saying. It's going to cause a collapse if they do that. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Oh, sure. Sorry about that. Now that it's been mentioned that the dollar's not is losing its value and everything. So on that note, with everyone's pulling their money out and they're devaluing the dollar, so what that's gonna have? I mean, is that money, the dollar's going down as far as the U.S. is concerning the U.S. not within this year or 2 years? It's just it's out there like a forecast of 5 years the dollar is not going to be any good, or as far as the U.S. Currency.
Oh, it's not a set date on it. They just know that it was events that's transpiring anytime the dollar can collapse. With all the things that's up against it and all the things that's happening, it's any time it could collapse. It could collapse, especially if the citizens start doing a bank run. That's going to definitely collapse. But it's anytime now. It's not nothing stable. Right. Okay.
And 25. Recently, Jeffrey Prescott, the United States ambassador to the United Nations, made an announcement that the United States will be giving $414 million to the Democratic Republic of Congo in regards to humanitarian aid for sanitation, food, water, and a whole host of other things, right, including vaccines for Mpox. Okay, all that is great. Now, it is said that they have given almost $900 million since October, which is not nearly enough, right? And I say, great. The United States should be helping Congo, because the United States is complicit in what's going on with Congo, whether it's a corporation like Apple that's going over there and getting the materials to make iPhones and things like that. We know that the United States takes oil from Congo and all of that. Of course, there's an insurgence going on with rebels that's making it hard for Congolese to live. It has displaced millions of them. So yeah, the United States should be helping them. Okay, now let's come on back to the United States. Well, there's been a destabilization in the United States with Black Americans since we were put on those plantations. Now, when I say we, I mean our ancestors, right? We've been destabilized ever since. We have not had a place to call home, and the time that we did for a brief time with all the Wall Streets and, Rosewoods and all that was destabilized even more so by racists here in the United States. So my question is, along with the aid that you're giving to Congo and Afghanistan, Ukraine, Israel, and everybody else, when are Black Americans going to get our funding? When are we going to get our reparations? When are we going to get the money to stabilize us, because we are in need of humanitarian help? As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, how in the world can we be going after civil rights when we're not even thought of as humans? So yeah, the United States should be helping Congolese, but should be helping us here too. And it's not a handout, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want a handout. Nah, we want the debt to be paid that was never paid to our ancestors. So again, let's say wonderful that finally people that look like us in another part of the world is getting some help. And as I said, it's not nearly enough, because they need to go over there and stop all of the horrible things that's going on over there. But yeah, send us a check too. When I say us, Black Americans, because the sin of slavery, the original sin of America, has never been atoned for. And we, as descendants of slavery, are still paying for what was done to our ancestors. Like that wealth gap that'll never be closed, because they never got what was stolen from them, and that was labor. It says that it'll take over 230 some years to close the wealth gap between white people and Black people here in America. So while the good old government is sending money all over the place, send a check to Black Americans. And
okay, so I'll play this to play this, because The reparations is coming, believe it or not. Let's check this out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Have a very important broadcast that I'm going to be sharing today. Thank you, Sister Monica. Of course, we are already aware of certain things, but I want you all to hear how serious this thing is. And I'm hoping and praying that we are paying attention and not taking things too lightly.
Yeah, you already see what's going on in the UK with the riots. They're attacking black folks.
Please share the broadcast before we get started. I caution our people about taking things too lightly for a reason, because when I look around, I see what's going on. I see exactly what's going on. And our people are fast asleep. They act as if they don't know what's going on. So sometimes we have to nudge one another, just so that we can make sure that we are looking at the handwriting on the wall. Before I get into the broadcast, I want to share the link to the broadcast, and I'm asking that you all would do the same. Give you just one moment here, and then we will dive right into this. I don't operate in fear. This is how I deal with things. If the Most High wills something, there's nothing you can do about it. If something is in His will, you can't stop it. We can't stop it. We can't run and hide from the Most High's will. Do you understand what I'm saying? We cannot run and hide from His will. And so, that being said, we just pray that we're counted worthy to escape those things that shall come to pass upon the earth. That's one thing you do. You can use the word of the Most High, putting on the whole armor, so that you can stand against the devices and the cunning ways of the devil. You say, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. You know what I'm saying? Now, the time to do all of that is now and continually. We are not to be as those who just sit back and twiddle our thumbs and pretend like nothing's going on. You understand what I'm saying, family? We have to be fully persuaded in the Most High's will. That's what we've got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. And like so many of you have already said, I see someone, we're not running from anything. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Sister Andrea, the Most High is going to have His way. Brother Carl says, just have your power tools ready. Anyway, I want you all to take a listen at this stuff that these people are out here thinking about. Now, this young man who's talking about this, he's sending a word of caution. He's saying, look, why are you all doing this? Huh? He's talking to his own people who say, what's up with you? But I want you all to hear what this young man is talking about. And of course, you know, I will be right back.
So I've already been losing followers. Recently, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not here for the numbers. But after this one, I'll probably lose a few more. I'm fucking heated. And this isn't like a call out or call in. This is a fucking reality check for other white people. We do not get to label anybody in the black community anything based on what they choose to do with the vote. We have to realize that regardless of the outcome of this fucking election, there is going to be violence. Potential violence, very real violence carried out against black men, women, and children. More than usual. Because if Trump wins, that brings about a violent America. We've already seen that. If he loses, then the meltdown from white people is going to be insane, because they will not accept that he has lost to a black woman, which means violence will also come out of that. And while y'all are out here moral grandstanding and fucking doing these purity tests, at the end of the day, this shit will not affect us. The outcome of the election will not have it will not carry the weight of thoughts that it will carry out against Black people. Come the fuck back down to reality right now. Stop policing what Black people do with their vote, period. Because at the end of the day, violence is going to come out, and it's not going to be violence towards us. And so, first of all, no, the majority of white people keep, whoever's talking about revolution, y'all don't know what the fuck it takes. You aren't ready. You can't even have a conversation with your other white family members about revolution without melting down, without getting scared, but you think you're going to overthrow the government. Please be so fucking honest with yourself. There's so many white people right now that are so fucking delusional. Y'all want to run around and call Black people this, or that. If they choose to vote for Kamala Harris, if they choose not to vote, if they choose to vote third party, whatever, that's not our fucking business. We are in this place. All this self-hatred is coming out so heavy right now from white people. Because the reality is, the reason there are genocides in all these different countries is because of white supremacy, which is an us problem. And so everybody that's angry right now should be angry at white people. Because we're here because of us. We have, the very fact that we have Donald Trump as a choice for president is a result of white supremacy. So all this energy you have for everybody else, any other community, all this fucking anger you have, use it constructively to help deconstruct and colonize your mind and to work towards destroying white supremacy. Do that. Leave Black people the fuck alone. Let's focus on us, period.
So listen up, family. I don't know if you all remember, but just a few days ago, I did a video where I was talking about Kamala Harris and how she is being used, in my opinion, to do what this guy is talking about. They rolled her out in the beginning as an Asian Indian woman. As a matter of fact, there were several clips that show where she herself identified as such. Now, all of a sudden, during this election, they're rolling her out as a Black woman, specifically African American. How do you get African American out of Indian Asian? It's like they throw in everything in there. As a matter of fact, truth be told, as far as her father goes, they say he has some Jamaican in him. So where's this African American thing coming from? That was the point I was trying to make. What this young man right here just said, I was trying to make the point that they have something up their sleeve. All of this stuff was planned. Like someone in the chat said, this was all planned. This is not a coincidence. But, even with all of that, we have to understand everything is in the Most High's hands. It's in his hands. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? It's all in the Most High's hands. We know this thing is coming down. The system is coming down. It has to. Why does it have to? It was prophesied. And the Most High is not a liar. He is not a liar. I hope my people are paying attention, because when I look at the foolishness that is revving up right now, all I can do is flip through the pages of the Bible and say, there it is right there. There it is right there. The Bible tells us don't be ignorant of Satan's devices, lest he gets an advantage over you. This is one of his devices right here. He's using these people to do something. He's using these folks to get some stuff started. So I want to show you all those of you who didn't see the video that I did concerning this. Just give me one moment here. We ain't gonna run around scared though of nobody. We don't have to do that. Yah has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. See, it's a trick where the enemy believes that they will always have the upper hand. They believe that they will always have the upper hand. I want you all to look at this because there were some very specific things that I talked about in this broadcast that I need you all to pay attention to. Okay? This one right here. If you look back at this broadcast here, there were some scriptures that I brought out about the enemy's devices. And I instructed my people, according to the word, to put on the whole armor of Yah, that we may be able to stand against the what? The wiles of the devil, right? The Hala people.
They're legally robbing you. And
blaming us, they are definitely planning to do something to us over this election. It's all on TikTok, them saying it. So guess what, y'all? This is why we have to cry to the Most High, right? We know that certain things are stated in biblical prophecy. Scripture says, look up for our redemption draws nigh. That's one thing, right? Look up for your redemption draws nigh. It also says very clearly that these other nations can't stand us, right? So I'm not surprised at the Pala people at all, right? It also says that there's going to come a point in time where certain things are going to happen. The Most High is going to endow his people with a certain power. I'm not going to get into that in this video, right? So many things are spoken of. Talks about how the heathen is raging, right? Talks about a lot of things. It also talks about the fact that the pride of somebody's heart is deceiving them, deceiving them, deceiving them. What is that deception? People so prideful that they think they will always be able to just put the foot on the neck and get away with it. That's what they think. That's what they believe. That they will always be able to do these things to us. That the Most High is going to continue to let them for eternity. That's what they're thinking. But what are we supposed to be doing right now? We are supposed to be putting on the whole armor of Yah. I will continue to say this, family. The whole armor. Don't just carry around the sword. See, too many of y'all just carrying around the sword coming. How do we navigate through all of this? Do we run scared like those in the image there? Or do we put on the whole armor of Yah? Basically, what this young man is saying to us is that there is a target on so-called black people's back by them. He's pretty much trying to warn us, telling us, look, this is what my people are planning for you all. My people don't feel like they've done enough. This is what he's telling us. He's telling us that his people don't feel like they've done enough to hurt us, that they got more up their sleeve. Thank you, Brother Eddie, for the super chat. I appreciate it. He's telling us this is what they've got planned, that they are not sorry for anything they've done and they want to do more. But the Most High has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind.
Okay, any comments? Just think about that. We had a conversation about it before.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Can you hear me, Brother Leonard?
Be low.
I'm low. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Yes, sir. I think I want to read scripture and I want to say maybe in Second Ezra where it talks about Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning.
Right.
It speaks of that, but I wanted to read Isaiah chapter 45, starting with verse 6, the one and only God. Verse 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am the Lord and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. The Lord, do all these things. So he creates evil and he creates good. So what they have planned for us is just not going to work, Brother Leonard. It's time for the Most High to come back and get his children. At the end of the day, they know who we are.
Exactly. Right. And we see what happened. You got to keep on looking at it because it changed not. You got two baskets to feed. And he said he had the righteous ones taken out. But they good. He sent them to Babylon. But the wicked ones stayed there. And he got rid of them. So we got to let that permeate. You know what I mean? People gonna be, if anybody get knocked off, it's gonna be because of they ain't Israelites and they ain't right. But the righteous feed is, and the people that heeding to his word and all that is gonna get protected. There ain't no more affliction. Affliction already happened. We already at the end of the affliction. So yeah, you're right. Okay. So yeah, and I got to keep on saying that over and over again. When you go to another example, when the Syrians came, and Hezekiah prayed, and the Assyrians came and posted up outside of Jerusalem, the wall, and told them, "We're gonna, whatever y'all gonna do, you better do it tonight, because in the morning we coming in there, and we're gonna annihilate this place." Well, that night, the Lord showed up and wiped the whole army out. When the next morning came, the Israelites looked over the wall. There was Assyrians everywhere dead. Horses just sitting there with gold and silver on the horses. Backpacks full of gold. They just went out there, opened the gate, and went and checked all them pockets, got all the gold and spoiled them, and that was that. So when you understand that the tribulation, we at the end of the tribulation, ain't no tribulation coming. So between whatever they got planned, the same thing gonna happen. It's gonna be a supernatural intervention because we're not gonna go on no more affliction. We're at the end of the affliction. Okay, that's how close we is. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments, or dialogue about anything that they came across over the weekend or something they heard on Clubhouse or on our Bible studies? Any questions? Okay, play this right here. We saw right here what these people got planned. Well, that's not it. This is another example of that. The Lord of hosts is coming.
Incontrovertible evidence that the decision has been made to go to World War III. Is it a coincidence that on the same day that F-16s first graced the skies of Ukraine, as documented by numerous videos and photos, news agencies like Bloomberg and the New York Times, as well as U.S. and Ukrainian officials, have confirmed on the same day that...
So let's look at this right here, okay? Some people probably don't know what's going on. F-16s is a creation of the United States. High-powered airplanes. Russia then crushed Ukraine. They beat them down on the ground, and now all of a sudden, Ukraine had come out of nowhere with these F-16s. So where do you think they came from? They came from America. So it goes back to sticking your nose in something that you ain't got shit to do with. So these Russian and seeing these Ukrainians all of a sudden flying over in Russia with F-16. So what do you think they're gonna do? They coming here. They coming here because they've been warned over and over again to get out of their business. But you got to understand where we at and how the Lord of hosts works. They know that their end is here. After all the concoctions, after coming up with JC, all that bullshit, all what they done do transatlantic slave trade is still they right now in a pickle. After all of what they've done. And they know when he finished with those Ukrainians, what's coming next. The dollar going down. There's so much shit going on behind the scenes that we don't know. They through. So they can't sit back and leave stuff alone. They at the end of their rope. So they done gave Ukraine these F-16s, Russia coming straight here to the Suez. That's what's getting ready to happen. And you keep on hearing the Lord of hosts, just like I just explained to you, dead bodies everywhere. That's how he works. Dead bodies gonna be everywhere. Okay?
That has happened, the major red line for Russia. We have all of this craziness going on in the Middle East. Is that not a coincidence or what? That on the exact same day we first see a F-16 likely being flown by NATO pilots, make no mistake, we are now seeing the State Department for the first time in a long time say that there is a level 4 travel advisory for Lebanon, which signals the war with Iran is about to begin. Now, remember back in January, I told you this. This is the World War III update. I have some bad news. We're going to be going to war with Iran, and it is going to start much sooner than people think. We will be in a state of high-intensity conflict with the nation of Iran, not its proxies, the actual state of Iran, before the U.S. election. Mark my words, unequivocally, resolutely, we will be engaged in a full-blown war. Okay.
So let's go back and connect these dots. We already know how these people work. The Illuminati, powers that be, these satanic leaders. September is their month. We're coming up on September. But you both already be braced. Okay?
Now, at the time, I was basing it on a lot of the rhetoric that was coming out of the White House with House Resolution 559. At the time, of course, there was the October 7th residual effects, but there wasn't a lot of engagement with Iran. April 9th, or whenever that event happened in April, took all of us by surprise. Now Iran has confirmed that they, in fact, are going to be retaliating directly against Israel in a manner that is likely going to exceed their response in April. This is it. Israel is prepared to go to all-out war in the region, so they say. Mind you, I don't know if you can say you're prepared to go to all-out war when you are being forced to conscript ultra-Orthodox Jewish seminary students who've been immune from having military duty since Israel's inception. Things must be getting pretty down to the wire. So perhaps it has something to do with all of those U.S. warships that are in the region that are going to come to Karen's aid when she bites off more than she can chew. Oh yes, the police department. And wouldn't you know it, we've hit a new record. Where's the money printer? I don't have it today. Where's Lynette Zhang when you need her? 2,500 big ones. Gold, a new record. On the same day that you have that trifecta, you also have Russia getting ready to partake in the third leg of their nuclear drills, their tactical nuclear drills. Emphasis on tactical. Remember how yours truly has been saying that for the longest time, we are going to see the normalization of low-yield tactical nuclear weapons in the various theaters of combat around the world? Well, here we go. Today, numerous pundits like Douglas McGregor are talking about how there's a very high likelihood that Israel is going to be forced to use tactical nuclear weapons in Lebanon. Because if Iran does a coordinated attack with all of its proxies at the same time, one that is not telegraphed, not announced beforehand, so to ensure that things don't escalate vertically, I think Iran has had enough. And now that Hamas's chief negotiator is dead, that basically means that there is no possibility for any rapprochement between Hamas and Israel, which in some ways, at least right now, is the focal point of this conflict. Of course, the much bigger conflict in the background is between Iran and Israel. So, my friends, it is on. It is on. The Pentagon is saying that in the next 72 hours, looks like I jinxed the price of gold. That's okay. Don't even pay attention to this. That's going to the moon eventually when the US dollar completely crashes and is worthless. The Pentagon is confirming that in the next 72 hours, Iran is going to retaliate. There's been a notice to airmen issued over Iran, not for the purpose of retaliation, we are told, but something to do with the funeral procession of Haniyeh, the Hamas leader who was assassinated. But as we've seen back in April, the Iranian response came a lot later than expected. So I would not be surprised if we're waiting just a little bit longer for a response. This is the building in Tehran in which was targeted by, there's all kinds of, there's still controversy over what was it? Was it a rocket launch from inside Israel? Was it something from Azerbaijan? Was it something from outside? Was it a drone? I don't think there's been any conclusive proof as to what exactly happened, but this happened in the capital of Iran, okay? Iran is saying that this is a violation of international law. Russia agrees with that assessment, and so Iran does have the backing to go to war with Israel. Again, looking at the timeline of events, Netanyahu goes to the United States, gets the green light. Putin meets with Assad in Syria, or Assad went to Russia, okay, to meet with Putin, which tells you that they're getting ready for a major war. Recall that a month and a half ago, Alexander Vucic of Serbia, the leader of Serbia, said that in the next 3 months, we are going to see a massive war. Of course, if things flare up in the Middle East, there's a very high likelihood that every other theater of conflict that we are seeing, including the one where the F-16s, the NATO F-16s, first presented themselves, is going to flare up as well. We have Orban warning about that. We have Fico, who, remember, was almost assassinated, warning about that. We have guys like Trump warning about that, okay? Give credit where credit is due. Yeah, that they're going to be able to do this. This is the equivalent of 70.
Any comments so far?
The U.S. has been, funding this war ever since it has started, right? And not only with weapons, but monetary also. I mean, billions of dollars. And also look at the support that they're giving Israel, right? So just listening to them always saying America is broke, or they can't do this or they can't do that, but they can continue to do this. Not only are they giving them these weapons to use, but they're providing the missiles, the ammo for this equipment that they're using. And a while back, I was reading like the Patriot missile ammo costs $3 million.
Right.
So yeah, look at that. They, like you said, they always in someone else's business and won't take care of their own.
Exactly. And now they're in a predicament where they have no other choice because they to sit back. They already see what's happening, so they sit back. It's definitely gonna be done. You know, and all the signs are there because of look what they just did with the draft over here in America. They know something getting ready to go down, and then like the brother just said, now all of a sudden these Orthodox Jews over there, the so-called priests over there, they have to register to go to war. So that ought to tell you right there is what time it is and how close it is. Okay.
Has anybody seen Joe Biden lately? I mean, seriously, is he still out doing stuff, or was that actually a farewell speech? I thought it sounded like a farewell speech, but I haven't seen him lately. Maybe they're just going to speak to Kamala directly at this point. Israel has declared it's ready for an all-out war. Russia's statements on Iran are interesting and incredibly foreboding. Dmitry Medvedev is saying that the knot is tightening in the Middle East. Sorry for the innocent lives lost, but they are but hostages of a disgusting state, the United States, he says. Very interesting that the Russians never want to compromise what little diplomatic leverage they have with Israel. So they always go right to the source, they say, the United States.
Like I said.
Meanwhile, it's clear to everyone that a full-scale war is the only way to a shaky peace within the region. Dmitry Medvedev thinks that a full-scale war in the region is the only path to peace. And this is why you have these House resolutions as proposed by Lindsey Graham to authorize the use of the United States armed forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of the United States through the development of nuclear weapons, and in addition to that, the orchestration of terrorist acts by proxies. Now, if you ask me, striking and killing high-level officials in foreign countries on their sovereign soil is an act of terrorism, but I guess we define it differently over here. This is a new Israeli preparedness drive, trying to get their population to get stocked up. Apparently, there's a run on everything there: gasoline, generators, medical equipment, and all the rest. Israel has placed its military forces on high alert. They're preparing for a combined attack from the axis of resistance. So they think it's going to come from all directions. Without the United States and Jordan, I don't think the Israelis would be able to sustain even one of these onslaughts. But let's see what happens, okay? I think the shit is going to royally hit the fan.
Okay.
Israel and the United States have started to hold talks to discuss how to prepare for the upcoming response.
Okay. Anybody else got any comments on that before we start reading out of Book of Jubilees? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm in Jubilees. I'm in chapter, I'll read 24, 25, and 26. Okay. Let me get it. Okay, I'm in Jubilees chapter 24. It says, it happens after the death of Abraham that the Lord blessed Isaac, his son, who arose from Hebron and went and dwelt in the well by the well of the vision in the first year of the third week of the Jubilee, 7 years. So I told you how the reason why this book is called Jubilees is right, is because of a Jubilee is 50 years. 7 times 7 is 49, and the 50th year is Jubilee. That's how they keep time in heaven. This book Jubilees, angels are telling the story. That's why they keep the time the way that they are. So it says, and that's why I told you, that's why you see the powers that be 50 years ahead of us. They operating off of that time. want to be, you know, they want to assume they operating on, but they 50 years ahead of us. Okay, so it says, verse 2 says, in the first year of the fourth week, a famine began in the land, besides the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. Jacob made lentil soup. Esau came from the field hungry, and he said to Jacob his brother, give me some of this red soup. And Jacob said to him, sell me your birthright, and I will give you bread and also some of this lentil soup. And Esau said in his heart, if I shall die, what good is it what good is my birthright to me? So I want to go back, right? Because I want to shine light on something. So I was in Isaiah, in Genesis chapter 15 in the King James. Everybody want to say that prophecy is about the 400-year prophecy over here in America that we're going to come in. But he says, let me read it. Let me read it so I can shine light on it. So it says, right here, in Genesis chapter 15, okay, let me see. Yeah, it says Genesis chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 7. And he said unto him, I am the Lord. And this is the Lord of hosts, talking to Abraham. I am the Lord that brought thee up out of Ur of the Chaldeans and gave thee this land to inherit it. And he said, and Abraham said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, right? And a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, divided them in the midst and the land, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds he divided not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and he said, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. So they're saying that what he's seen right here in this dream was us coming over here to America for 400 years, right? Keep going. 13. And he said to Abram, the Lord of hosts said to Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. They're saying that's over here. Keep going. 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge. Now here you go. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Now here you go. 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in old age. So Abraham dies. And like I said before, because he came from Adam's lineage, he ascends. So he's going to ascend to his fathers, like he said right here. And thou shalt go to thy fathers. They in heaven. They ain't in the hell in Abraham's bosom. That's some bullshit. They in heaven. The chambers up there. So it says, and thou shalt go to thy fathers, ascend into heaven in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. So he's going to die. Then 16. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again. Where's hither at? Where he at? In the land of Canaan. See that? But in the fourth generation, wherever they coming from, wherever they was at for the 400 years, they're going to come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So you say, okay, well, we're going to come from here and go back there. Ain't no Amorites over there. Amorites, Joshua, Moses, and Caleb, them killing Amorites. Ain't no Amorites over there now. So notice what it says in 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. So he's going to die. So here we go. I read all that to read this right here. So he told Abraham, so the prophecy is going to come to pass after when Abraham died. So I'm in chapter 24, Jubilees. The angel telling the story. Who you going to believe? So he says, it happened after the death of Abraham. See that? Come on. Now let's keep reading. 6. And Jacob gave his brother. So all this right here about the lentils is after Abraham died. Right? So it says, and Jacob gave his brother Esau bread and soup, and he ate until he was satisfied, and Esau despised his birth. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, red, because of this red soup which Jacob gave him for his birthright. And Jacob became an elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. Let that firmate. And the famine covered the land, and Isaac departed to go down into Egypt in the second year of this week. And he went to the king of the Philistines, to Gerar, into the presence of Amalek. And the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, do not go down into Egypt, dwell in the land that I shall tell you of, and sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For to you and to your offspring will I give all this land, and I will establish my oath, which I swore. Here you go, right here. Go back to the land. He told Abraham, you're going to die, and your seed going to go into a strange land. They're going to afflict them there. They're going to come out with great substance, come back to this land. So here go the Lord coming to Jacob now. Let me see. To Isaac. He coming to Isaac. He says, verse 10, for to you and to your offspring will I give this land. Right? Same land he told Abraham. And I will establish my oath, and I oath which I swore to Abraham, your father. And I will, when did he swear to him? In Genesis 15. And I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and I will give to your offspring all this land. So let's look at that right there. Okay. We multiplying over here? Hell no. But we know the more they afflicted them in Egypt, the more they multiplied. Okay? Say, I will establish my oath which I swore to Abraham, your father, and I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and I will give to your offspring all this land. Right? And in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because your fathers obeyed my voice and kept my ways and my commandments and my laws and my ordinances and my covenant. And now do as you are told and dwell in this land. So like I said before, we ain't blessing all the nations. Now, we ain't blessing all the nations. We're at the bottom of the food chain. Okay, 12. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks, or years, and Amalek commanded concerning him and concerning all that was his, saying, any man that shall touch him or anything, okay, anything that is his shall surely die. Isaac grew strong among the Philistines, and he got many possessions, oxen, sheep, camel, donkeys, and a great household. He sold in the land of the Philistines and brought in 100-fold. And Isaac became very great, and the Philistines envied him. Now all the wells that the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. There you go again. After the death of Abraham, and filled them with dirt. Amalek said to Isaac, go from us, for you are much mightier than we. Isaac departed from that place in the first year of the second week, and he sojourned in the valley of Gerar, right? And they dug the wells of water again, which the servants of Abraham his father had dug, which the Philistines had filled after the death of Abraham his father. And he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Isaac dug a well in the valley and found fresh flowing water, and the shepherds of Gerar bittered with the shepherds of bickered with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, the water is ours. Isaac called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a second well, and they found fault. Fault for it, for that also. And he called the name of it enmity. And he left that place, and they dug another well, and for that they did not fight. And he called the name of it room. And Isaac said, now the Lord has made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from that place to the well of oath in the first year of the first week of the 40th Jubilee. And the Lord appeared unto him in the night of the new moon of the first month, and said to him, I am the God of Abraham, your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and shall bless you, and shall surely multiply your offspring to the sands of the earth, for the sake of Abraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built, and he called on the name of the Lord. And he offered sacrifices to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Abraham his father. So let's look at this right here. And you'll see the dilemma that we in right here. It says, so Isaac, our God is over us, our deliverer. That's who they talking to. 23, right? Chapter 24, Jubilee, verse 23. Isaac built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built. Now here you go. And he called on the name of the Lord. What Jesus said in there? What Jesus said in there? He called on the name of the Lord, and he offered sacrifices to the God of Abraham and his father. Well, it's the New Testament there. What Jesus said in that, right? So they dug a well. So he told us in the last days we're going to be scattered all over the whole earth, but then we're going to search the scriptures out and find him in the last days. The Old Testament. Search it out and find him and call on him. This is who we got to call right here. It ain't Jesus. He ain't in it. He's not in this conversation right here. With Abraham or with Isaac. Said 24. And they dug a well and they found fresh water, flowing water. And the servants of Isaac dug another well and they did not find water. And they went and told Isaac that they had not found water. And Isaac said, I have sworn this day to the Philistines, and this thing has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the well of the oak, because there he had sworn to Amalek and Ahazra, his friend, and also to Pekah, who was the commander of the host. Isaac knew that that day that he had sworn to them under pressure to make peace with them. On that day, Isaac cursed the Philistines and said, cursed be the Philistines to the day of wrath and indignation from among all nations. My God, make them a disdain and a curse and an object of anger and indignation in the hands of Gentile sinners and in the hands of children. Whosoever escaped the sword of the enemy and Chechen may the righteous nation root them out in judgment from under heaven. They shall be the enemies and the foes of my children throughout their generations on the earth. Notice that Chechen is Romans. So 30. No part of them will remain. Not even one shall be spared on the day of the wrath of judgment. The offspring of the Philistines will experience destruction, rooting out, expulsion from the earth. And this is all that is in store for them. There shall not be a name or an offspring left on the earth for those Capernaum, the seat of the Philistine state. And ain't none here, like he said. He spoke it and performed it. Ain't no Philistines. Okay? So 31. For though he rises up to heaven, he shall be brought down. And though he maketh himself strong on the earth, okay, there he shall be dragged out. And though he hide himself among the nations, even from the place shall he be rooted out. Though he descend into the abode of the dead, there it is. I told you, they descend. They didn't come from heaven, so they can't ascend. They got to descend. Though they descend into the abodes of the dead, that's Hades, his condemnation shall be great, and he shall have no peace there. If he goes into captivity by the hands of those that seek his life, they shall kill him on the way to his imprisonment, and neither his name nor offspring shall be left on all the earth, and into an eternal curse shall he depart. It is written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tablets, that on the day of judgment he shall be rooted out of the earth. So that was Jubilee chapter 24. Any comments? Okay, go to 25. It says, in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son and spoke to him, saying, my son, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan, as Esau, your brother, who took 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have made my soul bitter with all their unclean acts. For all their actions are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness in them, because their deeds are evil. So let's look at this right here, because this is the mystery right here. When all the brothers get up and get a decent job, become super athletes and all that, they grab a white woman. Look what it say right here. And I've been screaming it forever. So it says, she told Jacob, Rebekah told Jacob in verse 2. In verse 1, he says, in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob, her son, spoke to him, saying, my son, do not take a wife from the daughters of the Canaan as Esau, your brother, who took 2 wives. Check it out. Took 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan. And this is what she said. And they have made my soul bitter with all their unclean acts. What's the unclean acts? For all their actions are fornication and lust. We picked that up. Okay? All their actions are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness in them, because their deeds are evil. That's where attraction comes in at. That's the secret. Okay? 2. I love you greatly, my son, and my heart and my affections bless you every hour of the day and every night. Now, my son, listen to my voice and do the will of your mother, and do not take a wife of the daughters of this land, but only from the house of my father and of those related to my father. Okay? This ain't changed. It's because we're in 2024 and the white man that came on the scene, this right here still staying. Right? If you will take you a wife of the house of my father, the Most High God, if you will take a wife of the house of my father, the Most High God will bless you. You ain't gonna make $200 million and be broke in 5 years. He says the Most High God will bless you, and your children will be a righteous generation and a holy offspring. So if you marry one of the wives of a father, an Israelite woman, the children gonna be righteous. So what they tell you if they ain't an Israelite woman? Let that ferment. And the children shall be a righteous generation and a holy offspring. So if it ain't an Israelite woman, then there ain't no holy seed. And then spoke Jacob to Rebekah, his mother, and said to her, look, mother, I am 9 weeks years old, and I have neither been with nor have I touched any woman, nor have I engaged myself to any, nor have I even thought of taking me a wife of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father, for he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but take me a wife from the offspring of my father's house and from my kids, folks, for my kind folks. I have heard before the daughters, I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban your brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a wife from among them. For this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against the sinning or being corrupted in any way throughout all the days of my life. For with regard of lust, see that? This a downfall right here. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham my father gave me many commands. See that? Damn what the Supreme Court say, right? Despite all that he had commanded me, these 22 years, my brother has argued with me and spoken frequently to me and said, my brother, take a wife that is of the sisters of my two wives. But I refused to do as he had done. Okay? I swear before you, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a wife from the daughters of the offspring of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother had done. So it's like he go to two baskets of figs right here. Like I said, when he come back, if you getting punished and afflicted because you from that wicked basket. There's a righteous basket, ain't this over with. Ain't no affliction. So it says, do not be afraid, mother. Be assured that I shall do your will and walk in uprightness and not corrupt my ways forever. When she heard this, she lifted up her face to heaven and extended the fingers of her hands and opened her mouth and blessed the Most High God who had created the heavens and the earth. And she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, blessed be the Lord God, and may his holy name be blessed forever and ever. And he has given me Jacob as a pure son and as a holy offspring, for he is yours, and yours shall his offspring be continuously throughout all the generations forever. Bless him, O Lord. Place in my mouth the blessings of righteousness that I may bless him. And that hour, when the spirit of righteousness descended down in her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Jacob and said, blessed are you, Lord of righteousness and God of the ages. And may you bless him beyond all the generations of men. So let's look at this. We going to the mega churches, flipping and dipping, doing all that shit. Let's look at see what she done. It says, she said, verse 12. This is how you do it right here. It ain't hard. She said, blessed be the Lord God. You got the right person. It ain't JC. Blessed be the Lord God, and may his holy name be blessed forever and ever. And as he has given me Jacob as a pure son and a holy offspring, for he is yours, and yours shall his offspring be continuously throughout all the generations. So she gave him to the Lord of hosts. Right? He was already his, but she had enough sense to do that. She gave him to the Lord of hosts. Bless him, O Lord. Place him in my place in my mouth the blessings of righteousness that I may bless him. Then 14. At that hour, see that? JC ain't got shit to do with it. At that hour, when the spirit of righteousness descended into her mouth, she placed up both her hands on the head of Jacob and said, blessed are you, Lord of righteousness, God of the ages, and may you bless him beyond all the generations of men. It's that simple. Right knowledge. Thinking like a Hebrew. So 15, my son, may he give you the path of righteousness and reveal righteousness to your offspring. And may he make your sons many during your life, and may they arise according to the number of months of the year, and made their sons become many and great beyond the stars of heaven, and made their number be more than the sands of the sea. So let's look at this right here. 16. It's the blessing that she commanded on Jacob through the Lord of hosts. Verse 16. May he make your sons, she told Jacob, may he make your sons many during your life, and may they arise according to the number of months. Come on. 12. How many months is it? Come on. It's 17. May he give them this good and pleasing land, as he said, and he will give it to Abraham. He would give it to Abraham and to his offspring after him always, and may they hold it in possession forever. My son, may I see blessed children born to you during my life, and may all your offspring be blessed and holy. And as you have refreshed your mother's spirit during her life, the womb of her that gave birth to you blesses you now. My affection and my heart bless you, and my mouth and my tongue greatly praise you. Increase and spread over the earth. May your offspring be perfect in the joy of heaven and earth forever. May your offspring rejoice, and on the great day of peace, may they have peace. May your name and your offspring endure to all ages, and may the Most High God be your God, and may the God of righteousness dwell with them, and may his righteousness be built by you of all the ages. Blessed be he that bless you, and all flesh that causes you falsely may be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, may the Lord of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and your affection rejoice in you and bless you. And she ceased from blessing. Okay, that was 25. Any comments? All right, let me see what these brothers are talking about. It says, okay, it says, what are you teaching about the giants is true. I looked up stories about these beings and found Cape Dwar, the two-headed giant. These are pictures and the mummified corpse. So yeah, okay, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's why they have. If you go to the Jack the Giant Killer, all those movies of Jack and the Beanstalk, the two-headed giant in there. They got the two-headed giant in there for a reason, because it's part of history. Okay. Anybody got anything? I'm gonna read this last chapter. Okay. It says, in the 7th year of this week, Isaac called Esau, his eldest son, and said to him, I am old, my son, and my sight is dim, and I do not know the day of my death. Now, take your hunting weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field, hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me flavorful meat, like my soul loves, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you before I die. So he got intentions on Isaac, got intentions on doing what Rebecca just did to Jacob, right? But Rebecca heard Isaac speaking to Esau. Esau went out early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home meat to his father. Rebecca called Jacob her son and said to him, look, I heard Isaac, your father, speak to Esau, your brother, saying, hunt for me and make me flavorful meat and bring it to me that I may eat and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now, my son, do as you are told and do as I command you. Go to your flock, fetch me two good kids of the goats, and I will make them good, tasty meat for your father, like he loves, and you will bring it to your father that he may eat and bless you to the Lord before he dies. Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, I shall not withhold anything which my father would eat and which would please him, but I am afraid that he will recognize my voice and wish to touch me. And you know that I am smooth, and Esau, my brother, is hairy, and he will see me as an evildoer because I am doing something that he has not told me to do, and he will be very angry with me, and I shall bring on myself a curse and not a blessing. And Rebekah, his mother, said to him, the curse be on me, my son, just do as you're told. And Jacob obeyed the voice of Rebekah, his mother, and went and brought back two good and fat goat kids. And he brought them brought them to his mother, and his mother made them tasty meat like he loved. And Rebekah took the good and pleasing clothes of Esau, her elder son, which was with her in the house, and she clothed Jacob, her younger son, with them, and she put the skins of the kids on his hands and on his uh, exposed parts of his neck, and she gave the meat and the bread which she had prepared to her son Jacob. And Jacob went in to his father and said, I am your son. I have done as you have asked me. Arise and sit and eat of that which I have caught, Father, for your soul may bless me. Isaac said unto his son, how have you found game so quickly, my son? Jacob said, because the Lord your God caused me to find. Isaac said to him, come closer, that I may feel you, my son, and know if you are my son Esau or not. Okay? And Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him because it was a decision from the heaven to remove his power of perception. And Isaac discerned not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau. So Isaac blessed him, and he said, are you my son Esau? And Jacob said, I am your son. And Isaac said, bring it to me that I may eat of that which you have caught, my son, that my soul may bless you. And Jacob brought it to him, and he ate. And Jacob brought him wine, and he drank. Isaac, his father, said to him, come close and kiss me, my son. And he came close and kissed Isaac. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him and said, look, the smell of my son is as the smell of a full field which the Lord hath blessed. May the Lord give you the dew of heaven and of the dew of the earth, and plenty of corn and oil, and let nations serve you, and people bow down unto you. Be ruler over your brothers, and let your mother's son bow down to you, and may all the blessings that the Lord has blessed me and blessed Abraham, my father, be imparted to you and to your offspring forever. Cursed be he that curses you, and blessed be he that blesses you. It happened as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing his son Jacob, that Jacob had went away from Isaac his father and hid himself. Isaac, Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting, and he also made flavorful meat and brought it to his father. And Esau said to his father, let my father arise and eat of my venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, who are you? Esau said to him, I am your firstborn, your son Esau. I have done as you have commanded me. And Isaac was very, very greatly surprised and said, who is he that has hunted and caught and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before you came, and have blessed him, and he shall be blessed, and all his offspring forever. It happened when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac, that he cried with a very loud and bitter cry, and said to his father, bless me, father. Isaac said to him, your brother came with trickery, and has taken away your blessing. And he said, now I know my name, his name is Jacob. Behold, he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. And Esau said, have you not reserved a blessing for me, father? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, look, I have made him your Lord, and all his brothers have I given to him for servants. Okay. I have strengthened him with plenty of corn and wine and oil. Now, what shall I do for you, my son? Okay. Esau said to Isaac, his father, have you only one blessing? Father, please bless me also. Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac answered and said to him, far from the dew of the earth shall be your dwelling, far from the dew of heaven from above. But your sword will you live, and you will serve your brother. It shall happen that when you become great and do shake your yoke from off your neck, you will sin completely and commit a sin worthy of death, and your offspring shall be rooted out from under heaven. Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the blessings his father blessed him with, and he said in his heart, may the days of mourning for my father come now, so that I may kill my brother Jacob. Okay, so that was how chapter 26 ended. Anybody have any comments?
Shalom, everyone. That's as you were reading in chapter 25, Brother Leonard, about you know, when she was praying, that lets us know that the Most High hears all our prayers, and that's another example that, as Hebrew Israelite women, we are important. You hear a lot, especially in the camp, they say, they feel as though women are not important. So you have a lack of understanding in scripture if you're speaking that way. Chapter 25 was a prime example, of that. And it tells us that in Isaiah also, chapter 65.
Right. What actually was happening is Jacob received a double blessing because he got the blessing that Rebecca put on him, and then he turned around and got the blessing from the father. So he had a double blessing. And like I said before, Esau could have had the same thing. But like I said, it's 2 baskets of feed. There's repercussions to being wicked. So Jacob got a double blessing because like he told her, I'm not gonna marry no Canaanite woman. He did everything his mother and father told him. And then she blessed him. And then turned around and then he got the real blessing, which is from Isaac, the one that was passed down from Abraham. Okay, that was passed down from Shem, from Noah on down to get back to Adam. Passed down. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments before we go? But like I said, knowledge. It's just that simple. She put a covering over Jacob just from having the right knowledge. Okay. So with that being said, okay, say shalom, shalom.